the last time I hosted something that I didn't introduce myself. So I figured you all know me, but I'm I'm Barbara Sullivan. I'm the executive director of Village to Village Network, and Travis is working on a deadline for us for AARP. So I'm going to hopefully be the tech person. I did record it, so I'm well ahead of the game. I want to introduce Meredith Oppenheim, and she is the CEO of Vitality Society. And we're excited about this and hope that, you know, we have 2 or 3 villages that have already worked with Meredith and a couple board members who have talked to Meredith. And I think this is an opportunity as we're going forward, hey Lynn, to do things in a different way as we unfortunately are looking at COVID in the future and maybe having some combined online classes and bring the network together too. So Meredith, I'm going to let you go ahead and start.
Sure, okay. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen in just a moment. But first, thank you so much to Karen, Brenda, Evan, Tracy, John, Lynn, Mayor, and Capital City Village. So, and Barbara, thank you for this opportunity. So I'm going to jump right in. We have an hour, correct?
Correct.
Still the plan? Okay. And I'll tell you a little bit more about myself as we go along. So thank you for this opportunity. I very much look forward to getting to know you better. And here is a little bit about us. So I'm going to share my screen. PowerPoint first. Okay. So let me just put on the slideshow. Hopefully that works. Okay. Okay, great.
Okay, good.
There we go. Okay, so we launched in January 2020, and we went live with a Facebook campaign to just understand how Vitality resonated with people 60 and better. So we did a 4-day campaign for $300 just to assess that, and we asked the question, how vital do you feel? We had a pensive looking woman, and we really wanted to establish, does the society for people 60 and better to be at their best resonate with a population in that demographic? And I'm proud to say we got 1,200 likes in just 4 days. So we knew that there was something here and a real opportunity for the people we serve to benefit from an offering focused on vitality. And we'll go through what that is. So by quick background, I have been working with older people for over 30 years. I'm right now in my childhood home in Central Jersey, Monmouth County, Homedale. I am a New York City gal, but we have been displaced from that place that we love so much since the middle of March. And so I decided 30 years ago I wanted my grandparents to live forever, and I thought I could do something about it so that they could. And I have been focused on improving the quality and length of life of older people since then. And then I spent 15 years in the industry of senior housing, of all different types of communities. And I recently authored a white paper on a new look at an aging industry, really trying to challenge the industry and those that serve older people to think about how we can do so differently and better. And I also, I was very excited to be able to serve on Mayor Bloomberg's Age-Friendly Commission and the New York City Department for the Aging Not-for-Profit Board. So in sum, I'm totally committed to helping older people live longer, better lives and do so and help them live with great dignity and have a lot of enjoyment in the process. And that's what Vitality Society is all about. So I wanted to start just very briefly with what our members say. We now have 1,100 members since our January 2020 launch. And I'm hoping everybody can read this, but in sum, we've been referred to as an oasis in chaos. One of our members, not the Madonna, a Madonna, has said, I wonder every day what I would have done without Vitality Society. And many of our members really recognize how much we're needed in times like this. And we're proud to say what we offer. I particularly like thinking about Iris and Charlene's quotes. Thank you for this positive, innovative platform for self-help, human connection, and improving our mind-body spiritual connection. I've so enjoyed the many classes I participate in each week. So it's really the emotional, mental well-being side of what we do. And then in terms of what Charlene is saying, since attending 2 to 3 classes 2 to 3 times weekly, I feel stronger, more flexible, and my balance has improved. Your excellent instructors are mindful of age-appropriate moves, and thus I have made the achieved improvements in a safe way. So we're really focused on physical well-being and mental well-being, and we're proud to say that our members are benefiting from that. So our philosophy is based on 8 guiding principles. So we're an inspirational lifestyle brand that energizes, engages, and entertains people 60 and better to be at their best. And what we do and how we do that is we foster community, and we provide original content, and we offer coaching, everything based on these vitality principles. And so just by way of example, each of them are distilled down to a 2-letter word to be so easy to remember. And we focus on how to activate these principles so that members could enjoy the benefits and of doing so. So one example for B is to be the best version of yourself, both physically and mentally, to live with positivity and purpose. And so that's a lot of the work we do. And then do is to engage in volunteer work, to remain relevant and leave a legacy. Ed is to continue learning, to be a lifelong learner. And go is to travel. Now we do it virtually. We did an architecture tour some of you participated in. And then Ha is knowing laughter is the best medicine. We have a comedy event with an HBO comedian this Sunday. And then Hi is to meet new people. And Om is to achieve clarity and sanity by sustaining your serenity. And Oi, which we certainly get the most laughs about, but is to recognize that every stage of life has worries, and now more so than ever. But we recognize that and support our members through those challenges, but it's really just one piece of what we do in totality. So these are our principles that guide our work. Okay, and I'll go briefly through the services we provide, and we'll do a demo and you'll see that. But we're really creating an ecosystem around each member to increase our impact on members' physical and mental well-being. And the 4 areas that we do that is community. Like I said, we've created a very committed and vibrant group who motivate each other to maximize their physical and mental well-being. We have coaches that are the top tier coaches that we've curated for our members. So those who participate in our classes really get incredible support and a suitable challenge so that they can feel comfortable engaging in exercises. We have a signature cueing program where we start slow through a warm-up in any one class that we offer in terms of like cardio or strengthening. And then we go into a more of a peak of the class to get to a higher level of intensity that we know is suitable. And then we wind down and end with stretching and more of a relaxation at the end. And we also, in our strengthening classes, have a 3 cueing approach. So our instructors will offer a very basic move and then suggest if you can and you're comfortable, you might want to explore this. And when you're ready, this might be an option. So we really cater to a very wide spectrum of capability, and we offer every class that we have in the strengthening, we're able to give multiple options so everybody finds the just right challenge and could progress with their practice. And then our content, we do 13 live on Zoom classes per week. We're offering that right now, and it spans multiple intensity levels, which I'll show, and fitness and wellness types. And then we have a concierge, and our concierge is so valuable to our members. So they get all their questions answered and the support that they need. And we send daily reminders every morning. Think about if you were at a hotel and it would say, here's what you can do today, and here are all the Zoom links. And our members really appreciate having everything organized and simplified for them, and to know every day they can have something, or in our case, 2 events per day, extraordinary to do should they want to opt in and participate. And then here's our sample calendar. This is very representative of what we do. This is for June. We have 5 categories that we offer. We do cardio, strengthening, mindfulness, rehabilitation, and enrichment. And if you think of the hierarchy of needs of what one has, in the winter, we were very focused on really general physical and mental well-being of our members, thinking about wellness in totality, but really focusing and honing in on what we can do to keep members physically and mentally strong through what arguably, I don't think anybody would say was easy for anybody, but we wanted to make it easier. And now we've layered on the second layer above this general physical and mental well-being into the areas of enrichment. And so we respond to our members' interests and offer new classes. So in June, we introduced an art class. So we do that every Saturday, and we have a great following, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then today begins our live music, sing, vocal training, and songwriting class. I'd like to also point out that for each type of class that we have, we offer at least 2 classes a week. Our dance classes happen Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're very popular. The music is incredible. Our Broadway Vibes class is taught by a former Rockette who's been in multiple musicals, including Hairspray, and she's just phenomenal at energizing our members, and they come back each week and really enjoy various different show tunes. They request certain songs on previous week, and she comes back the following week to offer those songs and learn new dances. So we also have strengthening, which is incredibly important, Pilates, yoga, and a flexibility class and a bar program. And mindfulness, we have a Tai Chi class and meditation. And in rehab, we introduced earlier this month a very popular program, and actually has become our most popular program, is our physical therapy recover and rebuild program. And that's on Wednesday with a physical therapist based out of New York City who's won the top practice few consecutive years in a row. And she, through various different exercises on the chair, on the floor, helps us really gain and some recovery time for our bodies. So we really, members are able to focus on self-care being the best form of healthcare. And then because of the rehab being so successful and people enjoying it so much, we introduced a barefoot therapy rehab class as well. So those are the types of classes that we offer, and on Sundays we do special events. Okay, so the options we'll present today for you to consider, there's 2. And each village will choose one or both that interest them most. So we've distilled it down to 2, and I'm proud to say that the villages have been providing incredible, very positive and helpful feedback to create what I believe are 2 really hopefully attractive options that would help you both retain your members and grow your members, and in some respects, which we'll go through, is to generate revenues for your village as well. So the first one is a virtual village member program. And that's going to allow all the members nationwide to be in a single group on our platform. Yet, in addition to being part of a single group on the platform where they can see members and communicate with members, there's also an individual option that's really the essence of this. So they will be able, from the comforts of their own homes, to enjoy all our classes, events, and special interest groups as they wish and want. And then there's the second option is a village community room. And in the village community room, this is only for those villages with a dedicated common room and the appropriate equipment. And this would be a membership for you to enjoy all the classes and events together. You know, we are well aware of the cost of programming and the complexity of organizing it. And what we offer is a turnkey solution for you to immediately and easily plug into what we offer. So you're able to offer the 13 classes, for example, we have going right now. And that would be available to all your members to enjoy in a community environment in your dedicated common space. And in order to participate, we need to ensure that you have a reliable internet connection, a computer, laptop, or desktop, and a TV for the projection. Okay, So I am going to go, I can pause now and see if anybody has any questions. And then I was going to go right into the options to show you how they look on the platform. Does anybody have any questions? Thumbs up, Barbara. Shall I continue?
Anybody who has a question, you can unmute yourself. And I don't see anything in the chat room.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love it if it's okay. I'd love to continue, and then we can leave the questions to the end. I just thought it was a good time to pause.
Nope, that's good.
Okay, so I'm just going to, give me 1 second. I have to share my, is my screen still shared? I'm going to stop share 1 second because I have to set up the my browser. Okay. Great. Are you able to see this? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So the options are, and we'll go through this, but here's the virtual village members.
You actually are on a half a screen.
Half a screen. What does that mean?
You
can only see half a screen?
It's split.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay, give me 1 second. Tell me if this is okay. It's a panel on the right. Is that how it looks?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's
virtual
exactly
village,
right.
Virtual village members. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. I want to make
Thank
sure.
you, Barbara, for letting me know. That's great. So this is the virtual village members. As we just discussed, this is for your individual membership to come in and subscribe on their own. And this package is $19.99, and they would try it for free. So let me go down and show you what the benefits are. So this is a program, it's a nationwide virtual group. I'm just going to increase my screen a little bit so you can see. Okay, great. Okay, oops. Okay, so it's a nationwide virtual group for all village members to enjoy all classes, events, special interest groups from their individual residents. Here is a description of what your virtual village membership would include. So as we said, in the month of June, they would get all of the Zoom fitness wellness programming. And at the moment, we have 13 one-hour classes per week, and that's effective immediately. Should you sign up, say, tomorrow, this is what you would get. We're also excited on June 15th, we're adding 4 15-minute classes per week. And why we're doing this is we have so many members who have expressed a desire to have a slower start, that they really are excited about the hour classes we offer, but either because of their limitations on time or being new to fitness and wellness classes, we wanted to make it a little bit more accessible, definitely more affordable, but really make it a slower start for them so that they could get started and motivated through shorter classes. We would also give our members here special interest group access, which I'll demo. And the first week would be free. When they enter their credit card, the first week will be free. They're not charged until the end of the first week trial. And then the cost would be $20 per member per month, or the way we price it is $19.99. And that would be charged again after the 1 week trial. And they can cancel at any time. There's no obligation, and when they cancel, the charge stops. And we invite them to join us to experience their first week free, and that's when they'll get to trial all our 1-hour classes and 15-minute classes. And then that's how that would look. And so that's the $19.99 for village members. For the village community room, like we discussed, where you would have access to all of our programming for all of your members to enjoy in a dedicated common space, that would be $99 per month. You would try it for free as an option, and we describe it here. For those villages with dedicated common rooms and appropriate equipment, a membership for all villagers to enjoy classes and events together in the same space at the same time. And this would be a reliable internet connection is required, a computer and a TV for projection like we discussed, and that's requirement to subscribe to this offering. And to go through again, to summarize what the content is, all of our programming, the 13 1-hour classes and the 4 15-minute classes. Special interest groups would not apply because this would be for a membership of your community in totality. And so it would be very difficult to participate in our musicians or artists or solo agers. We can do specialized programming for you in that regard, but in terms of participating in what we offer, it would be very difficult to do that because those are opportunities for our members to engage with our coaches and experts in the field. Free would be the first week, free with the entry of a credit card, and the cost thereafter would be $100 per village per month. And then there would be a minimum 3 months following that 1 week trial. And again, we would love everybody to participate and see if they like it, and they can cancel without ever being charged within that first week. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how it looks. I'm just going to shrink this a little bit so I can actually see my own screen. Okay, this is 100%. So this is our platform, Vitality Society. I'm going to show you where the group falls. So you would see when they come in, it would say virtual village members, and we would give you an address that you would forward to people in an email inviting them to participate. And then they would go right to this page. And this is what the group would look like. So they would get a link in an email from you, inviting them to join. We'll give you the language, and you can send it in an email as you ordinarily do with that link, and they would come here. And this is what they would see. They could add their profile picture if they'd like, and they can see our calendar in a very quick view. They click here, for example, they'll see our calendar with the intensity levels that I wanted to mention. I was going to mention it later, but I could share it here. We have various intensity levels, from green being the lowest intensity to red being the highest. And we have classes of all different types. And so, for example, like a meditation class is of the lowest intensity, and then our bar class is of the highest intensity. And of course, as I said, our coaches moderate within that, but we want to make sure people understand where the class at the average level is taught. Okay, so here our members, for example, we can start with who our members are. So here you would see anybody who joins would become a member. And if I wanted to contact Melinda and say hi, members could contact each other, or members can contact one another like this and communicate and see how they're going. Are you going to the class today? Would you go? And then we can go into events. And here's where you will see, as a member, everything that you could take. So I just started the calendar for June 8th. So you'd say, here's June 8th. You come here and you see our Broadway Vibes class. Here's our instructor, who I mentioned, Raquette. Here's the time and the description and her bio. So let me show you an example of what it looks like. So here's our very popular physical therapy class, which so many people have written to us about and appreciate so much, to get rid of some of the pain through their body. And at times where going to physical therapists is really not an option at this point, and will increasingly be difficult perhaps for them. So we like to make it easy and accessible in their homes. So here's our physical therapist. He gives the time, and we put in the intensity level here. So we say what the class is: learn therapeutic classes, exercises to rid your body of pain, restore mobility, regain balance, discover how you can rebuild your bones and restore balance with Peggy Brill's instruction to help you be at your best. And we explain how it works. And here's the intensity level so they know. Here's the bio. And when they RSVP, they say, I'm going. It says that I'm going. One, I'm already attending. The other piece of it that's very interesting is if they could export it to their calendar, say, okay, I want to put it on my Google Calendar, and I'll put it on my Google Calendar for me. The other piece of this is they come in here. If they don't export it to their calendar, they know that they've responded. They can go click right here, and it brings them into the Zoom event. So everything is in here. They don't have to keep track of anything. That being said, as a member, we send them a reminder, as I said, every morning. So they have it really in 3 ways. They get an email in the morning with the link. They could export it to their calendar, or they can go back to the event. And I'm proud to say we have really demonstrated that technology is no longer an obstacle, but a huge opportunity for our members, I say, who are young at heart and want to stay that way. So we offer tech support, and we do that at the beginning of each Zoom. but that was really necessary in January, February, and early March. And now our members really understand it and are able to do it. But if they ever struggle, our concierge supports them every step of the way. So let me show you one other piece of this as well, is these are topics. Like if they had questions, we would put FAQs that they can put in there. Here's resources and materials. We added the calendar. So let me show you, if they are a member as well, they can go into our special interest groups. So I'll give you an example of our artist gallery. So they can come in here into a special interest group. They can learn how to showcase their work. And we go through a tutorial, little edited video. It's 3 minutes. They could see how to do it. And we also give them the step-by-step below. So if they prefer to watch the video or they prefer to read the text. Oh, and here's one of our coaches put up her beautiful photography. It's gorgeous. And then we have, for example, we did a portrait class. So some of our members have put their portraits in. And then we also did a collage class. So this one was the story of my life, page 19, obviously, given the COVID-19. And these are pieces of art that are created by our artists in our art class. And then they post, and we also have members responding to one another, which is really nice. This is another piece, and 10 people commented on her artwork, including our instructor. And we have, I'll just share one other piece of the special interest groups. So we're starting a book club. People don't have to participate, but if they'd like to, we have a musician's lounge. So for our music class today, we have a member that wrote her own music. So we put that in there. And this one just is getting started because our first music class is today. But the idea is we'll write our own music and post it, and people will get song and vocal training and put in special requests. So let's go back to show the last, what I wanted to show you. This is the Village Community Room group that we discussed. Again, this is for those villages that have the required equipment. Again, it is a computer, a reliable internet connection, and a TV for projection. And this is your village community room for villages with dedicated commonry rooms and equipment. And then we are able to put featured content here too. And this would be a great way for you as a village to communicate with other villages if you'd like. So here I just put myself and Melinda, but you can call yourself villages of whatever it might be, villages of Cambridge, villages of Monmouth County, however you design and define yourself. And then you can communicate with each other in the same way that I had said before. You can also do what I think is very interesting on these platforms. You could, Barbara can do this in the network level, or anybody could do it themselves. They could say, curious, is anyone else, curious is, let's see, curious if any other village experienced let's just say, a no open mandate for the common room. And then you can make it here a poll, and you can make it a question. You could just say yes, no, yes, no, and then I'm not sure. And then you could post it, and without a topic, it doesn't matter. Without a topic, and you can notify everybody so they know that you posted it. And here, curious if any other village experienced no open mandate for the common room. And then people would say yes or no, and you'd be able to see throughout and take a very quick assessment of various different topics that might be interesting to the community, the village lead member, to understand what's happening in other villages across the villages. And that's something the network can initiate, or any member could initiate to get information, and peer-to-peer support. So those are the programs. And then I'm going to go through with Barbara's thumbs up the last step of this. Barbara, can I continue with the form? Thumbs up? Yeah, Barbara? Okay, great. So if this is of interest to you, and we certainly hope it will be, we will be giving Barbara a link that she can send to all of the lead members and those that represent the villages. And this jot form is intended just to be super simple and easy. We ask you to put your lead member contact name and the title if applicable, and the contact phone number and email and the name of the village and the city and the state and how many members that you have in your village. And then these are a summary of the two options that we've gone over, virtual village member and village community room. And we explain again, summarizing how they differ and what they include. And I wanted to share one major piece of this. So we want to offer the villages that participate in our individual membership for their individual villagers to benefit and appreciate and enjoy all that we offer. And we know that these are particularly challenging times, and we know that the funds that your villages have are very valuable to your growth and success, and we want to contribute to that. And so how we would like to contribute to that is for every member from your village that joins at $20 a month, once they stay after the free week trial, after they stay for 60 days, we would be giving you $20 per member. So $20 paid to the referring village for each new member who maintains membership for 2 months that's following the trial. So let me show you how the example would work. If you have 100 members in your village that purchase memberships, it would be 100 members paying $20 a month, and that's what you'd get per member, and $2,000 would be going to the village. If you're able to get it up to 200 members at the $20 a month, for each member we would pay $20 a member, that's $4,000 paid to the village. And our hope is that we know that many of the villages are very large. You know, some of them really would tremendously value, it would be very valuable to have numbers of this sort. So, for example, this would be a great way for your village to earn money by offering our platform and for others to participate that are part of your village. Okay, so this is what we would say. Based on the chart above, what is your level of interest in option 1? And that's the one for the virtual village membership, where you would earn a commission for everybody who signs up. And then we offer option 2 as well. In order to participate in option 2, we had discussed the resources that are required. So we asked, do you have a dedicated community room? Do you have the projection for the classes? Do you have a reliable internet connection? Do you have a computer? And provided you have all of these, or you're not sure, that also works. That's an option, right? Provided you have all of these, it's a go. And then we ask your level of interest in option 2. If for any reason you don't have any of these, then option 1 is the only option, and we ask you your level of interest. So if we put here no, it says at this time your village does not have all the requirements necessary for the village community room option. Option 1, virtual village members, is possible. See above for more details, and you can remind yourself what that is. And then we ask the question again, does option 1 interest you? And we welcome for you to send us any questions that you might have and submit it. And the last thing I'll say is that we hope and are anticipating that there'll be interest in what we offer. And so what I'd like to do is set up a day each week to do like a 30-minute office hours where people can come in, both your members as well as your community village leads. And we would be happy to answer questions and leave our doors open on Zoom for you to come in, the members to come in and get support. We can set up a designated time each week, like let's just say a set time, like 3 o'clock every Thursday Eastern time. So both coasts can participate, and that would allow us to support you on an ongoing basis and optimize everybody's use. And of course, if anybody has questions between the meetings, we welcome and appreciate those. But this would give you a chance to at least come once a week into an open forum and share your questions. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, and I open it up to you.
So we've had, thank you, Meredith. That was
Oh,
awesome.
thank you.
So I want to backtrack a little bit and clarify for the villages that are on. Meredith had said in the beginning that she has talked to several villages, and the community room is something specific that one of the villages has a dedicated community room that they continue to use. And so what they wanted to do was have their members in there and not pay individually and stream it for all the members and get groups together as we, are able to, do it social distancing wise, but as a group activity. But those of us like me, my old village does not have a community room. And so, Marty just shared a screen. Marty, you just started sharing a screen. Can you stop?
Barbara, you can unshare his screen if you want to.
There it goes. It goes. Okay. So that's why we looked at these areas because, and there's some great questions, and I'm going to go through them. Or you can individually ask the questions. Unmute yourself. We don't have that many of us, so I think the best thing to do is let's go from the top, and Joe Hewitt, who's actually Evan. If you want to unmute yourself, you asked a question. Go ahead, Joe.
Yes. Hi. Thank you for your information. Hey, I showed up.
Thank you.
My question is that we're just barraged with a lot of information, and the numerous Zoom meetings. I would like to forward your information to my steering committee and board meeting, but what I don't want is to be weighed down with a PowerPoint slide. Did you have like a single flyer that you showed it towards the end, like you had a comparative, if you did the individual versus community? Is there something that you could send myself or others that's just a single explanation that I could throw out to my steering committee and board for discussion for our next meeting? But but I just didn't want it to be weighted down with a lot of information. So
Perfect.
We do have a lot going on, but I don't know if this is something they would like to do, and it'd be nice to have it officially versus me creating it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Is it Joan? Did you say Joan?
Joe.
Joe, J-O-E. Okay, thank you, Joe. Yes, we intended to do that when we sent out the survey. So it'll be a one-sheeter, like a PDF that you could just print, and it has a very consolidated view of who we are, what we offer, what the options are. And I know that Barbara and I were talking about, setting up a situation like a July 1st, hopefully to get the surveys in by July 1st, so we could just at least assess preliminary interest. So you'll have that document to share. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm happy to provide additional information.
Okay.
And I'll be sending that out.
Yep.
So I've taken note of who's here, who's been in the audience, so I can send it out. Or I might even just do it in the village buzz and send it out to villages per se, and have Travis do that. So, but it is going to come from us.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
and I'll
Joe.
have that to you, Barbara, I'll have that to you Monday morning so you can send it.
No, I need it like in the next hour.
Oh, you want it right now?
kidding. No,
Okay.
I'm kidding.
We have it. I'm happy
Meredith,
to send it.
I'm kidding you.
The only reason why I don't know if anybody on a Friday towards the summer months is going to do anything with it. So.
No.
I have one other question. Would you add in there also maybe a third column or an explanation in the individual that there would be incentive to, if somebody were to be using this, individually, that you get, so all of those kind of bullets.
Yes.
To share. So if that was in there, that's kind of like another incentive level. So, because I don't know if we want one or the other, but it'd be good to have that.
Yeah, I have to say that would be wonderful. I'm happy to do it, and that's what it includes. And truly, I thank the other villages and the board members that have been helping me, because they've given me great insights in what could be valuable. And it would be wonderful to leverage our content to fund other programming in your organizations. And there's obviously no shortage of things to do with extra funds to support this population. And I would love to be able to contribute to that individually, but through our great work as Vitality Society.
Awesome.
Great.
Good, Joe. Thank you. Lynn, you had a bunch of questions, so I'm going to let you just take the floor.
Okay, I'll try not
Hi,
to take
Lynn.
too much. Hi. A few questions. I guess the first question is, how is the community room on Vitality different than if we as a village hold Zoom meetings?
Oh, okay, so I can explain what we're envisioning based on what we were asked, and then maybe the answer will become apparent. So, for example, our content, just to take a step back, so our content's all designed for people 60 and better. We've curated incredible caliber coaches and range of intensity levels and range of fitness types in our programming. So when in a common room, if you had the required equipment, again, a dedicated common room, the computer, the projector, and the connection, they would be able to view that in a group, and it would be like an exercise group session taught by our instructors. The other piece of it is, which is I think what our members really enjoy, everything is live, which is very exciting. And then we do a 15-minute, both for our hour classes and our 15-minute classes, live coaching with our coaches. So for just by way of example, each one of them has decades of experience serving this population. So we look to them to inspire and guide and support those that participate to feel really good about what they're doing, ask questions about individual situations that really pertain to so many people. And it can go everything from, I liked this music, let's do more of that, to, this really hurt my shoulder. Can you make sure the next time that, can you make sure that some of us might have a shoulder issue, and give another option, for example, in like our gentle yoga class where she uses a chair, some people still feel like their shoulders are impacted. It happened once in the last 8 weeks. So it does happen. So then they know the instructor the next time they have a repeat following that, they'll remember to cue something different for someone who might have a limitation with their shoulder, and it would apply obviously to many people. So again, I think how we differ from like downloadable content that someone might access, for example, on YouTube, is really to underscore our live programming, connecting with the coaches, being inspired by other members, and really content specifically for this population.
Okay, I understand that for the exercise that you're dealing, but I guess, I don't know, I'm not clear on the difference. Some of the villages have brought in instructors and are using, kind of live instructors for classes. And so I was just wondering what the community room gives us that we wouldn't have if it was an individualized Zoom meeting for our members. And I apologize if I'm not making sense.
No,
I
get it. I get it. I think the difference is, I having spent almost 20 years in senior housing and looking at the programming offering of a typical senior housing community, which perhaps is comparable to what a community room might include. The cost of doing 13 live classes, the organization of it, the talent recruitment of it, the management of it, the compensation for it, the security and certainty that they know how to serve this community specifically. So there's tremendous time, effort, cost, and variability that goes into doing that at the scale we're doing it. So I think what my comment would be, Lynn, and it's an excellent question, the village that asked for this does perhaps one live event a week with an instructor, but now they have the option to supplement that one class with the instructor that many people might love, with now 13 other classes that are of 1 hour in length and 4 other 15-minute classes as another option. So it allows you to multiply the amount of content that you can offer at a cost that is so minimal relative to if you were going to pay
An
13
instructor.
instructors plus 4, so 17 instructors. That can cost, it could be $1,000 a week, which is obviously not sustainable and possible for most organizations or villages. So that's really the value, is the quality, quantity, cost, and simplicity. But thank you for asking that.
No, I appreciate you clarifying it. And then the other question I had is, and it's a shorter one, I promise, is
no problem.
Payments per memberships. Is that a one-time payment that our members are paying you monthly and we get a one-time payment per member?
Exactly. So the way it would work, just to go through it, so we would send you an email that you forward to everybody, and let's just say Mary Jane would like to join. So she goes into that space that we showed you, and it shows you $19.99 per month. So she clicks on that, and it begins with a 1-week free trial. Her credit card is not charged until that first week is over. And then Mary would stay on for 2 months following the free trial. We will pay you the $20 after the 60th day of her paid membership. So you will get $20 per member paid on her 60th day.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yep. And we hope that hundreds will join and thousands of dollars will come to your village. I mean, that would be our goal, and it would really be wonderful for you. I hope to have those funds to use in other beneficial ways. Go ahead, Joe, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think the positive on this, given the changes in our life today with the pandemic, is that as we are opening and reopening slowly, I believe we have a very vibrant, robust social wellness, educational, in-person type of programs going on. Some paid, some not paid instructors, but I still believe we're going to lose a portion of our people returning because they are not going to feel comfortable going out. And I've been trying to figure out how are we going to do live and Zoom it at the same time. So I think this kind of answers a portion of the population, those people who want to do it individually, who you want to offer them something because they're not going to. I've got quite a few that still do not feel comfortable for all the right reasons going out. So this is a nice supplement to our programs in my mind.
Well, and also let me, I like that, Joe, but let me go to one step further, which Meredith and I talked about. 2 things. One is that, let's say, like the village that's doing the community room, they're going to be able to do that. But let's say in 3 months, we have a reoccurrence or a resurgence of this, virus. They can convert back over to the individual village member and do it at home, so it's a continuation. Correct, Meredith?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, we wanted to price the individual members so affordable that they could do it sometimes in the club room, community room, sometimes individually. And in climates, I always covered the Northeast in my work in senior housing. I mean, it was very tough, for many months for people to feel comfortable to go outside pre-COVID. In certain climates, it gets too hot in the South or it gets too cold in the North. And so this is a good option to supplement what they might do in addition to what's happening in the community room if they choose to do an individual membership.
and so the other thing I was going to mention, hold on one second, Marty.
Sure.
Is that I like, and this was one of the things I really was excited about, but I didn't know how to do it as the network. And I felt, we'll put it out there, is that in the individual village, if you do this, you're meeting other villages in this activity room, and so there's a cross connection, across the country. I mean, just on this screen alone, we've got somebody from California, we've got, you in Texas, we've got, Georgetown, we've got, a lot of folks, that are throughout the country, east, west. And so it's a nice idea to maybe do something connected with the villages and the village movement. So Marty, you were going to say something.
I was going to ask you to talk a little bit more about what you mean by dedicated community room. Zoom has changed our whole definition of what a room is. So I've got a computer, I have all those things that are listed, but I'm not sure what you mean by dedicated. Are you thinking the computer is not used for any other function? Or
Can I
what?
answer that?
Yeah.
Sure, I was gonna say, Barbara, if you wanted to.
So the village that we created this for has actually a meeting space that they use on a regular basis and have continued to do it. They own it. Many
Okay.
villages, like my old village, we were in a library. We didn't have that public space. In fact, we're not back in the library yet.
Okay.
So it's an alternative. You own that space and you're able to run programs in the space. It's a great opportunity for you, but many villages don't have it. Although
Sure.
some villages have offices in churches, you know, and they may have a community room.
Okay.
And so that's why we thought this is an opportunity to try to get everybody together back gradually, slowly, like you said, Joe, slow motion cultivation of getting back into society, you know, and seeing each other. But with the premise in the back of my mind is, you know, Groundhog's Day, is it going to happen again? And so I like the product. And so I don't usually go out on a limb and say that. Teresa.
Yes, hi, I'm in Maryland, and we are a very small village. And we do have individuals who are interested in talking and leading yoga for our people, but you know, the present crisis has made that not necessarily viable. So I really appreciate the opportunity, and like you said, but also just to have a broader range of people to communicate with. My main challenge, our main challenge, is that we're still getting our people up to speed and comfortable with the technology. And we're going from many, many angles to try to have that happen. But I see it as just another way that people may have an incentive to get connected. And I appreciate your contribution back, because maybe I'm thinking maybe we can, you know, we have a sliding scale. So maybe we could use that to actually make sure people could get 2 months, so then they could really evaluate.
That's right. Yeah.
Reinvest back into our individual members, and that way they could really see what works, get the support, whatever. So thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, hold on just 1 second, Marty. I'll
Sure,
come right
that's
back to you. Hold the thought though. So the technology piece is really interesting. So like I said, when we went live in January, we were helping everyone with everything from the sticker of their laptop still was over the camera to how do you unmute yourself, and really just a range of issues. And what we've seen is once we teach our members how to use it, they were very comfortable. And I've been interviewed on this quite a bit, because the presumption was that technology was a huge obstacle for an older population. And I'm proud to say the only person who's really struggled is my mom, my own mom. And, it took us many tries. And for a while, my mom was doing the audio on her phone and the video on the computer. And, finally, when we moved in with her, we were able to adjust it. But, some people just don't have cameras on their laptops, which was the case with my mom. But, I believe that we have really worked hard with our members. Members help one another. I should say we grew to 1,000 members based on word of mouth alone. And so many of our members help their friends, showing them it's not hard, they can do it, help them get onto it, and then we pick up from where they leave off. Really, I understand that it could be intimidating and difficult, but once we teach, and we have taught so many, it's really been, everybody feels very liberated and connected once we do.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because it may even be helpful in other areas where we're trying to get people more connected.
Yeah. And I have to say, I think this is, I wish we were going to open up immediately and quickly and everything would be, as it was, but it's going to be slow. And the other piece of this is that what we're seeing too is that people who've been home for so long. A lot of our members are writing in that they're so happy they found us, or their friend told us, or they saw us on the news. ABC covered us in 2 markets, in LA and Philadelphia. And, you know, because they feel like they haven't been moving as much. They're not feeling as good as they did physically, mentally, emotionally. And they're just very happy to, like the member said, you know, be connected to something and have options.
Right. Well, you can't see it because I didn't do a good job of fitting it in, but our Cheverly Village Aging in Motion, not in.
I love it.
Oh yeah, so it's a good fit.
We're aligned with you. It's beautiful. Really
you,
critical.
Teresa. We have
Thank
2
you.
more people. I know that Marty
Oh,
had a question, but also
sure.
Brenda has her hand up. She has a question. I know.
Sure, Brenda,
Brenda has-
after Marty, do you want to ask your
Sure.
follow-up?
I just wanted to ask a follow-up on the definition then of dedicated room. It sounds like the definition of room is an old-fashioned one, which would be that you do need to have a geographic place where you'd set up the equipment and have it, right?
So I'll go maybe perhaps a little deeper and build on what Barbara already shared. My feeling is, provided you have a space and a place that has computer, connection, and projection, you're good to go. I think it's important to realize that this is about a public space where your members would go to share an activity or engage in an opportunity. I think what we're not saying is like everybody packing into someone's living room.
Right.
It's really about that public space versus private home space. And maybe that's an easier way to delineate it. So it could be in a church, it could be in a library, it could be in a community space, but it's not the living room of someone's home.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Marty. Go ahead, Brenda. Nice to speak to you too.
We have roughly 250 members, and we began offering programs via Zoom in March. And it's an enormously burdensome task to create programming. And we have 1 or 2 events almost every single day. But we're finding that only about 40% of the entire membership is participating. This is where we're finding the challenge, and we're still offering the Zoom training, and we're still offering one-on-one sessions. So I just wanted to share that with everyone. I think that the exercise classes that you offer sound outstanding, because we've had some mini series of them where we've had volunteers who specialize in this type of either gentle yoga or stretching and breathing for seniors, and they've been well received. The deal is that only about 15 to 18 folks participate in that, right? So every activity is a little bit different. You have enough variety in the programming that there's something for each person. I don't see any issue with that. But if we've only got, let's say, 90 folks out of 250 that are interested and willing, does the village still get the rebate?
Absolutely. So the rebate
to 100 folks.
No, she was
I
just
just
using
gave
that
an
as an
example.
example.
I'm just gonna, thank you, Brenda, for asking that question. I'll put that in the materials that I will refine for Joe and others. So yes, it's a great, so what I would say is the $20 that goes to a village is based on those that sign up, okay? It's not a function of how often one participates. So I'll just give you an example. We have 50, what I would call premium members, who come to almost everything. I have members who come to 10 classes a week. Amazing, just incredible utilization. They love it. They do it almost every class we have. They almost take everything. And when they can't, they write me that they're okay, because I reach out to them and say, are you right? Just because I'm used to seeing them. But then we have members who do the same 1 class a week. They go and they do non-impact aerobics, Nia. It's a beautiful dance form with incredible, beautiful, peaceful music. And they'll come religiously to that one class, and that's it. So we have those extremes. And then we have what I think is really interesting too, is we have an evening class and a midday class. And so there's some people who have, like, quote unquote, gone back to work, however they define that. And they're so happy now to take the evening classes on the East Coast. And then those that are going to work in California take our 11:30 and noon classes Eastern time before they go to work. So I think in terms of I think you've said it beautifully, because there's so much variety, both in type of exercise and intensity level, and now with our introduction to the 15-minute classes, we really hope to have something for everyone. And our goal, frankly, is to expand the number of people who show up very often to reap the greatest benefit. That's why we're doing the 15-minute program, because we ask, how vital do you feel when you become a member? And initially, when we did this in the winter, we were getting like 7, 8s, 9s, 10s being the most vital. And what we're starting to see now is we're getting 4, 5, 6s. So these are people who aren't necessarily going to sign up for an hour class, but the 15 minutes, the get started, get motivated, which these members of the villages will receive as well, are a great starting point.
Yeah. It's creating all this programming, I'm telling you, is hard work.
Thank you, Brenda, for recognizing that.
It is hard.
It's so much work. And I have to say, I partnered with a woman who ran one of the major gym chains. She ran the global talent recruitment. And so, she and I just worked diligently together at the beginning of the winter to say, like, what kind of person, what kind of class, what level of intensity. And then we constantly add new programming. Like I said, the rehab program is brand new, and now we get 30 people, and it's been really, really beneficial. And I have to say, I do a lot of the classes, and that one's my favorite too, because inevitably my neck from working so many hours, it's been so great to be able to help self-care being the greatest form of healthcare.
I actually have a class for you. Stretch and breathe.
Oh, we have that. Look at Saturday.
Breathe. It's just perfect.
Yeah, so we have a strengthening, and breathing class on Saturday, and then I am probably like 2 weeks away from introducing a pure stretch class. Great. And because we have 20% men in our community, and when I kind of ask them, when I see the husbands with the wives in the screens, I say, what would be interesting to you? And I keep hearing this stretch theme. So we'll be offering that in July.
Well, I hate to end this because I know people have some
No
meetings.
problem.
We lost a couple. They said bye-bye because they had 2 o'clock meetings. But Meredith, this has been great. I'll wait to hear from Meredith. She'll send me the information,
Yeah.
and we in turn will send it out to all of you. All right.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you all. I'm so
Have a-
happy and delighted to meet you, and really appreciate the opportunity. Hope we'll have a chance to work together.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
you too.
Thanks a lot.